everybody, it's Magic Prepper. Today we're talking about islands for SHTF and bugging out to them specifically, and whether or not it's a good idea. And generally, I would say no. But it's a very popular concept in the prepper and survivalist community to go to an island because it's hard to access, it's got resources, and it's easy to secure a perimeter. So before we move forward, if you like videos about SHTF or preparation, please hit the subscribe button below, and that way we can keep this channel going strong, okay? So thanks for your support. Anyhow, these islands are an issue because there's a lot of people out there that think an island is the best place to go in case of an emergency. And a report just recently came out describing the best islands on the planet for going to in an SHTF situation, specifically related to a pandemic. Which makes you wonder, why are they even worried about that, right? Well, here's the thing. It's called the Prioritization of Island Nations as Refuges for Extreme Pandemics. That's the name of the report. I will put a link to the description and a link to the report in the description below, and that way you guys can read it yourselves and see what it exactly is they're talking about. But here's what I got from the report. They listed islands by priority of how they could be secured, quarantined, and how many resources they had in order to rebuild civilization after a mass pandemic. So, not only are they planning on a pandemic that's powerful enough to wipe out humanity and need a sense of rebuilding to have happen, but they're also going to say that islands are great because they can be quarantined, they can be cordoned off, they can be set aside and left alone so that other infected people or whatever it may be can't reach that part of the world, which makes it a genuinely good place to try to rebuild society. The only issue is that we all know, in the grand scheme of things, when things get quarantined or when anything gets walls put up and people are told they can't come and go as they please, it becomes a prison. It's a trap. Islands are a trap because you're going to go to this island with the idea of having a refuge and being safe from a pandemic, and then they're going to lock you in, they're not going to let you leave, and then who knows what they're going to ask you to do. Now, the islands on this list are relatively obvious, but one of them in particular doesn't make a lot of sense to me. The number one island on this list was Australia. Now, Australia is a continent, it's a country, it's an island, and it is huge. It's got a lot of landmass, it's got a lot of resources, and it has a very dense population of people in certain areas, so they think that there's enough resources and enough manpower on Australia to be able to rebuild society as we know it. My big argument there is that it's too big to secure properly. In my opinion, Australia would be way too large to build a wall around the entire continent and then not let anyone in or out and make sure that no pandemic makes its way in or out. And that being said, I don't think Australia should be number one, but that's what they did with their risk analysis report. They took these different island nations and they decided resources versus population versus capability and put them in order. Now, I'll give you guys a few of the top islands on the list just so you have an idea. They were Australia, New Zealand, Iceland, Malta, Japan, Cape Verde, and the one that really got me interested was Bahamas because I don't think that island would make the list at this point in time. After the last hurricane that went through there, they have been utterly decimated as a nation, and I don't think that they would be on that list of places to go. Now, if you're on any of the aforementioned islands, you have an idea of either being very safe or being trapped. And you don't necessarily want to be trapped, but you don't want to be unsafe either. And these islands are all listed for everyone in the world to read and see that says these are the best places to go in case of a massive pandemic. So, do you have a giant immigration of refugees coming to your island anytime soon or anytime there's an SHTF? Very possible. And if you're on that island, does it get quarantined and you get locked down and you get trapped on that island? Very possible. And this is all public information for everybody to read. So make sure you check out that link down in the description below. Let me know in the comments what you think about islands as a bug out location. I personally have never been a fan of the old get on a boat and go to an island trick because I feel like that's almost along the same lines as people who say, when SHTF happens, I'm going to go to Walmart. No, you're not. You're not going to Walmart, and you're not coming to my island, and you're not going to an island. Because if you do, everyone else has the same idea, and that's a problem. If you're already on one of these island nations, keep in mind that your island is going to turn into Alcatraz really quickly because it's going to be a prison state once it goes under quarantine. You're not going to have freedom. You're not going to have rights. They're probably going to disarm the population in order to keep order. And at the same time, you can't leave. So whatever they need you to do, you're going to have to do, or else it'll be punishment. It'll be just like a labor camp. And they're not going to just keep everybody inside this island quarantine zone safe for free. So everyone in the island is probably going to be put to work. They're going to be working on building the walls, making sure the quarantine stays safe, and building up the resources and rebuilding humanity just the way they say they want you to. And what that means is there's going to be a lot of labor-intensive jobs that suddenly become available that you might not have a choice whether or not you're going to take. So, if you're on one of those islands, please be aware of that situation and the fact that that might actually happen. And if you have a plan to bug out to an island, and maybe in your particular situation is the best option. Maybe you're on the coastline and there's an island nearby that you know is safer than where you're at now. Maybe you have a boat and it's easier for you to get to than other people. That might be a few people's circumstance, but just keep this all in mind. If you go to any of the islands on the list, and as well as on the actual report, which you can see in the description below, you'll find that that could be a big problem for you. Because if this report was put out by the Society of Risk Analysis, you got to assume that they talked to officials and people involved with infrastructure on whether or not their island would be suitable for this. And people have had to agree on the facts that this report is put out. And somebody somewhere is planning for this being a possibility, and that means your island might be at risk of becoming a quarantine prison state labor camp. And if that's what you want, that's not the worst thing, I guess, other than dying from some kind of crazy blood orifice pandemic like some weaponized smallpox that might just show up. You never know. But at the same time, I don't want anyone else being able to dictate my life. I like freedom. That's why I love this country that we're in right now, United States. #1, baby. I just had to get some of that, okay? And at the same time, you know, you don't want anyone else to dictate whether you're going to survive or die in SHTF. I need myself to be the only person that makes that decision. And I need someone else to go mind their own business rather than tell me to start lifting rocks all day long. I don't think safety is necessarily worth it if you don't have liberty. And I think we all in this community can agree on that statement. So, just wanted to bring to your attention that bugging out to islands could be a trap, and that this new report that just came out is actually telling everybody where to go. And you know that the elites in the world and the rich out there have been buying property on places like New Zealand and Iceland and Australia for years now. And it's because they have a plan. And when you think the rich are going to go buy property on one of these islands and set up shop during the quarantine, which turns everybody else into a piece of the labor force, you think they're going to get out there and start lifting rocks? No. They're going to use you to rebuild society that they can still profit off of, and they want to maintain their power and lordship over the people, so that way they can still be exactly as comfortable as they are right now. So, if any of those things don't line up for you, leave a comment below and let me know what you think. Otherwise, please like, share, subscribe, and that's going to be it for Magic Prep. If you like videos about SHTF or preparation,